get into football now. Jay. We haven't talked ball in a while. We have just off-season acquisition to get up to. I know this is your bread and butter. If you're able to pull that up or just break down everything that's been going on with all these off-season NFL acquisitions. All right, I'll bring it up.
You're gonna have to care. You can hear it. I can't even think.
Oh boy, just to keep people updated. Jason recently moved to your third apartment in the past 30 years or so, and yeah, his new humble abode, lives in life, and just welcome to New York City, where it's always loud, always construction going on, all a lot of just gross people. Yeah,
Eagles fans.
Unlike Philly, it's nice and quiet over here.
There's an apartment directly above me getting worked on. It's so annoying. You could probably still hear it. I have a headache right now from the drilling. But I'll pull up something from PFF on the
professional football focus.
I'll tell me what to do. We should probably mention in terms of football, like the stuff that's going on with Lamar Jackson right now is so wild. Like
he clearly wants to more, but the thing that it just kind of feels not going to have a choice, and he's going to end up staying there. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, the issue is that he has zero leverage at all. Him not having an agent, I think, is actually really screwing him in this situation.
Big time.
And I think the other thing that's screwing him is the Deshaun Watson contract, because now he wants something probably near. We still don't know what the actual number is that the Ravens proposed to him. We don't know what he wants. Those are the two things. That's probably the next last ditch effort he could make. Now that he formally requested a trade via Twitter.
Yeah.
But he got franchise tagged and non-exclusive. This is like the weirdest situation I think we've had in some time of, even if teams were uninterested in going for him, it's clearly collusion. Like there's no way that any team is going
smell that.
It's a collusion. From there.
Collusion.
Yeah, I feel like personally there is no chance that every single team that has come out and publicly said we're not going to go for Lamar Jackson, why would you give away that competitive intelligence even if you weren't going to? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And he's an MVP at 20. He's a former MVP at 26 years old. Deshaun Watson had 2 torn ACLs on one leg. Like, you can't say injuries. Like, come on. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting thing, but I do think that the team has all of the leverage, and I don't think he's going anywhere. I think it's more likely actually that he sits out this year.
I don't know. I don't see him doing that.
I could see it, because just like he obviously doesn't want to be there now. He feels disrespected. Oh my God, I'm gonna fucking have a heart attack. But I don't even know what I was saying. I'm so annoyed right now. Okay, let's just move on to the next quarterback, which is Geno Smith.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah, well, let's go Aaron Rodgers. Nothing's really happened.
He's officially committed to the Jets, but hasn't had a full contract.
He's officially committed to the Jets. Meanwhile, is a Green Bay Packer and is not traded.
This wouldn't happen. I think this would be hilarious if they couldn't have had a contract for him, and he's just like, all right, let's for one more season.
Jordan Love back to the bench.
Yeah, he's get to play.
Listen, I mean, it's a tricky situation. Like, there's always these talks about like who has the leverage between the Jets and the Packers, and then the answer is neither. Neither has leverage over the other. The Jets can wait as long as they want, and the Packers can wait as long as they want. Mm-hmm. And neither has leverage because the Packers don't want him in their room when the season starts, and the Jets can't afford to wait because they need someone to get acclimated in their system. So neither works. I think it'll probably wait until after the draft is my guess, because I don't think that they want to trade that whatever it is 13th overall pick, I believe. I could be wrong. Something like that. I don't think they want to trade that. And I know there's stipulations around his retirement because of what he said after the darkness retreat thing.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So, it was the period that they need to go on a retreat.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm talking about?
What are you talking about?
There's some athlete who recently said they need to go on a retreat too. I'm trying to think of who it would be.
But go on one.
Here's another one, Jay, that I'm interested to see what happens. Where do you think DeAndre Hopkins is going to land? Like rumors about Buffalo, maybe.
Yeah, you see Buffalo, you see the Chiefs.
The Chiefs would be crazy.
I could see the Chiefs doing it. They
need a wide receiver. They have one.
They need a wide receiver, and I think that something they do really well is like manipulate the cap.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
They're so good at it. So I wonder if that's the direction they go. They really need a number one. Like, unless they have faith, Kadarius Toney or Sky Moore is going to magically turn into, let's be real, a number 2 option behind Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you lost Juju, he's like fine. Yeah, he's just a big slot.
Yeah, he's a big.
He's such a slot.
A little slot.
He's so slotty.
They lose McCole Hardman to the Jets.
They lost McCole Hardman. He wasn't even playing in the last couple games anyway. He was hurt. I feel like I don't know. The Chiefs draft pick, I think, will be also really interesting because right now they don't have a tackle. They lost Orlando Brown, or basically let him walk for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So they have no left tackle, but they're pretty solidified everywhere else, I'd say.
Yeah.
They drafted amazing last year, so I'm sure Brett Veach will do great this year too. Anyway, DeAndre Hopkins. So that'll depend, because here's the thing: like, the Cardinals have to come down on their asking price. That's number one. And the number 2 thing is his contract. They'll have to either absorb some of it, the Cardinals, or he will have to restructure no matter where he goes. Like, he's not getting paid 15 a year at whatever he is, 29, maybe 30. I think he might be 30 already. With the TED suspension, like there's a little bit of a red flag. He was still great last year, but
in the 7 games he played, he played unreal. He just didn't have a quarterback because Kyler got it. If he goes to the Chiefs, that would be huge for them, huge for Hopkins resurrecting his career.
Totally.
So Jay, I brought up a breakdown of all the teams signing. So if you're cool,
okay.
what we can, I'll go team by team and just talk about their biggest off positions, and you can tell me if you think it was a bad move.
Okay. Why don't you share your screen, or you can just talk about it, whatever you want to do.
Let's talk about starting with the Bills.
Okay.
Harris is the running back. Bad move.
I love that move for them. Damian Harris is a very good player, and he was a very good player for the Patriots. They got him for nothing, and he's the biggest upgrade over Devin Singletary, who was absolute dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
I love that move for them. I think he's a really good compliment to James Cook, who they don't want doing any early downs anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and also Josh Allen is the goal line back. So
what happened?
What happened to what?
Is Devin Singletary still on the roster?
He signed to the Texans.
Okay, I'll probably get to that one. At some point. But all right, Bills, that's really like their biggest off-season move they made.
So now they have Damian Harris, James Cook, and it's very possible James Cook will start over him. I don't know what will happen. And they still have Nyheim Hines.
Yeah.
No, they re-signed Jordan Poyer. That's probably their biggest one.
2-year deal, Jordan Poyer. The Dolphins, they re-signed Myles Gaskin, they re-signed Mostert, they re-signed Jeff Wilson, their whole running back committee back. Yep. And Mike White, 2-year deal to Tua. What do you think about that?
Love Mike White going. There was a lot of movement between AFC East teams. Like, I think Braxton Berrios went to he started with the Patriots, then he went to the Jets, and now was a Dolphin. There's a lot of it. I like Mike White to go Like he's a solid, serviceable backup.
Yeah.
The Jets kind of came out and said that Zach Wilson's their number 2 before they even drafted or got his replacement. What a sorry career for him.
Yeah.
I like it though. He's a good player. And Tua's constantly hurt, so they need something.
Yeah, exactly what I was gonna say. Like, I just don't believe in Tua right now. Done. I think the Dolphins would be a great landing spot for Lamar Jackson.
He'd be the perfect quarterback for them.
Don't know if that would happen. The Bucks too. I could see him playing well with the Bucks, but
the Bucks are
who knows?
Rebuild. It looks like.
Yeah. Time. And then for the Dolphins, really their other big signing was Jalen Ramsey. He's not the same player he once was.
Yes, they traded for him.
He's not the same player he once was, but still adding to that that secondary that's stacked.
That's a stacked secondary. That's a scary duo. Xavier Howard, Jalen Ramsey, and then you have I'm blanking on his name. Javion Holland as a free safety. That's a really, really good. And they got Bradley Chubb last year. They could be pretty good. I mean, they were solid last year too. The Dolphins.
Okay. Definitely a lot for the Dolphins. The Patriots had a lot of off-season signings. They bring in James in to replace Harris. So it's a pretty solid move. They bring in Juju, which is basically another replacement. They bring in Mike Gesicki, pretty solid tight end.
Can I be really honest? I hate everything the Patriots have done. I think every single move that they have made is so bad. They screwed up. No, go ahead.
I could get on board with that. Like,
I think every move was wrong. They let Jacoby Myers go, signed Juju to the exact same contract. Jacoby Myers is a better player and has been his number 1 for years. Then you have Damian Harris. You lose him. That's my job. Just go.
Back to mute goes, but picking up from what Jay said, I agree with what you said, Jay, because Juju is just not think he is. He's overrated. Because of Patrick Mahomes, and not going to do that with Mac Jones. He'll probably be a solid guy. I agree with you. It's just like wasn't a reason signing. Mike Gesicki is solid, but like he's nothing special either. To go alongside Hunter Henry. The Patriots still Henry, right? Is that a yes or a no? Do you just take out your AirPod and eat it? Oh, Advil. Popping pills on the show. We might get sued for that.
I can't even hear you. What'd you say?
Said is Hunter Henry still on the? So they have Hunter Henry as their tight.
Traded
Jonnu. I like James Robinson move because I think he just needed to be on. He could be the main back, like stud in Jacksonville. He goes to Jets and does absolutely nothing. So I think he just needed to start with a new team. So I think that was a thing for them. But yeah, had a amazing offseason for the Patriots.
I just feel like they downgraded in every position.
Yeah, a lot of just re-signings for them. And just another team that's just not gonna do much. Like they don't have weapons. They're just a young rebuild team. We'll see what happens with that. But go over to the Jets. The Jets have off-season signings. They bring in Allen, which is great signing for them. You'd think that it had to do something with Aaron was coming there. They bring in Mecole Hardman, another speedy weapon. I know they lost to the Browns, but they weren't even utilizing him towards the end of the season. They re-signed Quincy Williams. Re-signed Solomon Thomas. The leg Zerloin as their kicker. So they had signed Ty Johnson. Not that he's initial, but with Breece Hall coming back and remain healthy, I think that the Jets could definitely be, and if they deal with Aaron Rodgers, I don't think they're to beat out the Bills in the AFC East, but definitely will be a playoff team, which hasn't happened. I could be wrong, but I think the Jets of four major sports have the longest playoff drought of like 12 years or something. So definitely could see it coming to an end this year.
Yeah, I saw that today. Same thing. With Aaron Rodgers, they'll be very competitive. I mean, their defense is top notch.
What are they selling? Defense is top notch though. So the Jets, happy as a Jets fan, just how bad they were for so many years. Literally haven't made the playoff decade. And just on the up and up for them. You got to be about that for sure.
Yep, I totally agree.
Go over to the Ravens. They haven't really done anything like they bring in Nelson, but really the center of their attention is Lamar Jackson. They need another stud receiver, which could be another landing spot for DeAndre,
or the draft. I think there's
the draft too, but the Ravens, I just expect the same from them. Playoffs, not being able to compete. Bengals, even the Browns this year could be solid.
Yeah, I really liked their move of getting Elijah Moore.
Yeah, but yeah, Browns getting Browns. But yeah, that's really it for the Ravens. The Bengals bringing Irv Smith, which is a signing for them because that's pretty tight end position, replacing CJ Uzomah, right?
Hayden Hurst.
Hayden Hurst, right? Was CJ on the Bengals or he Jets? The Jets.
Yeah.
I
could see it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to talk it. They needed that. They need tight end signing for the Bengals. That's really all that they did. They re-signed Jermaine Pratt, signed Sidney Jones to a 1-year deal. That's really that though. And then for the Elijah Moore, a lot of readings for them too. So not like anything drastic that's gonna change their team. They signed Josh Dobbs to back Deshaun Watson, and that's just interesting to see this year. First full Bengals. Sorry with them. All that drama with massages and whatnot last year, and even when he played, he did well at all. So I get it. A lot going on. You're out of the game. So hopefully he's just been putting in a lot of work in the offseason. Be the Deshaun Watson that he once was. So will be interesting to see what ends up happening with him. The Steelers, another probably lost cause, but interesting signings though. They bring in Malu. Sucked to see him go from the Eagles. They signed Patrick Peterson, was a big signing for them at the quarterback position. They Terrell Edmonds, who on the Eagles. But yeah, they believe a Kenny Pickett story. Not really had a big sophomore slump, so it'll be interesting. He bounces back. But yeah, not too much in the offseason for the Pittsburgh Lurs. Looks like Jason's on the move. If you can get a quieter spot. Let's go next to the Texans. Case Keenum.
All right. Hopefully this is better.
Deal. Yeah, I'm at the Texans now, Jay. The Texans had a lot of offseason signings. Case Keenum to a 2-year backup. Davis Mills. Terry they bring in.
No, they're gonna draft a quarterback. They're at 2.
They have to, yeah. A lot of wide receivers. Noah Brown, who played really well. They bring in Bobby Trevor Woods.
Bobby Tree. Oh, and John Mechie is coming back. Hopefully,
John Mechie. Hopefully back. Dalton Schultz was a huge signing for them.
He went for nothing too.
Yeah. 1 year, $9 million in a bag, basically.
You see Josh Oliver, who's a blocking tight end, went for I think more than him.
Yeah, I'd see that. Pretty crazy.
Some of these guys just really misjudged the market, I think.
Yeah, big losses for the Cats. Larry Jack Mason they acquired. Jimmy Ward they signed, which is huge.
That's a great signing.
Yeah. Denzel Perry. It's a lot of great offseason after another rebuild team.
Didn't they traded for Shaq Mason too, right? Or am I mistaken?
They did. They got him from the Bucks.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, Shaq Mason, who is one of the best guards in the game, continues to get traded for like a 6th-round pick over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. But yeah, They made great signings. Who do you think? I mean, I know you're going to go in team by team. Who do you think has had the best offseason?
I know I just went over them, but I really think it's the Texans. How offseason signings they were able to snag up, and with the draft picks that they have,
Yeah, they have really good capital.
Yeah, really good draft capital. A rebuilding team. Like they're probably not going to make the playoffs, but they lose Brandon Cooks to the Cowboys. But they kind of replace him with Rob Woods, who didn't really last year with the Titans. So it'll be interesting to see like a happy team like them coming out of the offseason.
I think it's the Bears.
Yeah, we'll get to the Bears and then you can explain.
Okay.
The next list is the Colts. Do they even have a quarterback right now? I know they signed Minshew, but they got rid of Matty. Do they even have a quarterback?
No, they signed Minshew, presumably to be the backup of whoever they take at 3 or 4. Excuse me, 4. Really? I moved.
Which it's going to be either Anthony Richardson or Will Levis. Yeah. Yep. So they'll probably so Gardner's a good backup to have. They get Gay, the kicker for the Rams, to a deal. So much that for them. The Jaguars re-signed they put the non-franchise tag on Evan Ingram. That he was last year. Really happy to see that for him. They've had signings, but nothing worth noting on the Jaguars side of things. The Titans sign Westbrook. How do you say it? Akeen. They re-sign him. They bring in Dillard to a 3-year deal. Got him from the Eagles. Get Bunting to a 1-year deal. That's really that though for the Titans. Then we go up to the Mile High City with the Browns. Signed Jared Stidham to a 2-year deal to back up Russ. They bring in Samaje Perine, which is
there are rumblings. Just really quickly on the Broncos, there are rumblings that Javonte might not even be available until midway through the year
because of his ACL.
Yeah. So Samaje would be pretty valuable. He was really good backing up Joe Mixon last year.
Kind of bad for us because they put all this into him and all this money, expecting him to be like the player he once was. Expect him to do more of the same that he did. He's just on a bad football team and he has nobody around him, and he's not the player he was. So
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he'll be the player he was. I think he's obviously declined, but I think Sean Payton's offense isn't going to ask him to do much I think Nathaniel Hackett was so in over his head. I'd really like to see what he looks like in Sean Payton's offense. I think it might be a turnaround.
My take's the opposite, but
he can't be worse than last year. That's my take.
That's possible.
It's possible.
The Chiefs didn't really. I mean, they didn't much. They lost Juju.
They lost Orlando Brown.
But yeah, just at their sign, it's just they signed Drew Tranquil.
That's a good signing.
Yeah. Then they signed Jawan Taylor, which is a great thing.
That's a good signing. But they really signed him to a huge deal, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 4 years, $80 million, $6 guaranteed.
Yeah, that's a big contract.
Raiders had a pretty interesting. Then they find their new quarterback in 3 years, $72 million.
Yeah, I think that's too much.
They put the non-exclusive franchise tag on Jacobs, Justin Hooper for 1 year, especially because they lost in Waller to your Giants. They signed
and Foster Moreau. They lost too because of the cancer stuff.
Yeah, Hodgkin's lymphoma, super sad.
Yeah.
But they get their back by bringing in Hopper and OJ Howard, and then bring in Jacoby Myers, which is probably arguably their biggest signing. Garoppolo.
I find it kind of redundant, but unless they do a 3 wide receiver set, I feel like he's a slot guy for the most part, and like obviously Renfro isn't going anywhere.
Mhm.
So it's just I don't know. It'll be interesting how that works out. I also think it's painfully obvious to me that they're gonna be the team that is trying to get Anthony Richardson
Yeah.
because
Wait,
of
you
the,
think
of the Jimmy G contract.
Okay,
They
I get.
want it. That's why I think that. I think they'll have him sit a year behind him, and
Mhm.
Jimmy will be a bridge quarterback for an immensely talented, very raw prospect.
Okay.
That's my take. I think that's like I wasn't sure until that happened, and then I thought,
Well, pardon your take.
no, don't tell me what to pardon.
Over to the Chargers. The Chargers didn't really do anything worthy.
No,
Cowboys, Donald Jones. They put the franchise tag on Pollard. They bring in Brinks. They bring in Stephon Gilmore, which is big for them.
right? Yeah,
They re-sign Leighton Vander Esch. So interesting offseason for the Cowboys. But CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks could be dangerous. But losing Dalton Schultz definitely wasn't a move. But
they just are trying to backtrack for screwing up the Amari Cooper deal.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see where Zeke Elliott ends up. I know he said Eagles, Jets,
He's
or
gonna go back. They all of those teams except the Bengals have said they don't want him.
They don't need him, but like, just not gonna see him going to the Jets.
Well, I think the Jets are uninterested. Like, or at least the Jets running backs. Brees Hall was like, "We good."
Yeah.
We'll see.
Next up is your Giants. If you want to break them down, and I kind of
Yeah. Let me think. So obviously the big one is they actually had a lot of re-signings. They lost Julian Love, Nick Gates. That one made me sad because I love Nick Gates.
Aw.
And they lost Feliciano to the Niners. Those are definitely holes that they'll have to fill. Like they don't have a center right now. Feliciano is not a good player in my opinion. But they'll miss the leadership from those three guys. But they were able to re-sign Darius Slayton. They signed Paris Campbell. They signed who else did they? Well, they traded for Darren Waller. Obviously, that's the big one.
Mhm.
Who else did they sign? They re-signed their punter, the Scottish Hammer.
Yeah, this was covered a while ago.
Well,
the two big ones.
They signed, Daniel Jones to the extension, and Saquon they franchise tagged.
Yep.
Those are the kind of the big ones.
They re-signed Sheppy to.
Oh yeah, but he's like that's more for a leadership thing. I think he's really still injured right now.
They bring in Jamison Crowder for a year.
Yeah, that's a fine signing. Oh, they signed Bobby Okereke, Nacho from the Buccaneers to help shore up the defensive line and the run game. Because we were the worst run defense.
Nacho,
or like third. Yeah, Nacho.
Who's Nacho? Okereke's name is Nacho.
His nickname is Nacho.
I didn't know that.
It's Roches Nunez or something is his last name. It's probably on there. I can't hear you.
Oh, Rakeem Nunez Roches.
Yes, his nickname is Nacho. So he's a really good D-line stuffer. So he'll be in rotation with Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams. I really like what they've done. I thought it was really interesting that they looked at the market. They realized that there isn't really a number one option who makes sense for them right now. So, for a receiver. So they pivoted to tight end, even though Daniel Bellinger had a solid rookie season. Darren Waller, when healthy, is a dominant player. The question will be, is he healthy? A third round pick, though, we basically took the Kadarius Toney trade and then got Darren Waller. So I'm very happy about that. And Darren Waller's contract is very manageable. So if they wanted to theoretically get out from under him next year, they can. I really like their move so far. I would really like them to draft Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yeah, that'd be big signing.
But yeah, we'll see. Like I don't think any of their receivers mean that they're done because they're all on 1 to 2 year deals. Almost all of them are prove-it deals, which I like. They're all like very high, low risk, high reward signings. Like Paris Campbell, if you think about it, he was actually the better receiver coming out of Ohio State with Terry McLaurin. If you remember that, and whenever that was,
Scary Terry.
I wish Scary Terry was a Giant. He's so good.
No idea why. I mean, I guess it's like a loyalty thing. No idea why he'd want to stay with the Commanders.
I don't care. They suck. Oh, that's some news. They're gonna get sold.
Yeah.
2 bids on them for $6 billion. Pretty insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say overall they've done a really good job though. The Giants. I'm happy with their moves.
Yeah, and then I'll get into the Eagles. The Eagles have interesting offseason too. Like of our coordinators.
Yep.
And then bringing in 2 new ones, losing players, which was expected. It's hard to bring back and make everybody satisfied, but definitely interesting with like you lose Minshew and then to bring this Mariota is very interesting because it's just like interesting how he goes from being the starting quarterback at Falcons team to back to the backup position, and he's not going to play at all, obviously. But Hurts does get injured for some reason. I think it's a very solid backup.
He's like fine.
What he's able to do on the ground, I provides a lot of leadership to Jalen Hurts. We saw this one coming, but Miles Sanders goes theirs.
He's going to be so much worse.
Yeah, he's not going to do anything. They bring in Rashad Penny, which is interesting. I like Rashad Penny. It's just a matter of he can stay healthy. I highly doubt the Eagles are going to go this route, but with the 10th overall pick, there are rumors about them taking Bijan Robinson, and at that point, it's like you have a 4-man committee. So what was the point of signing Rashad Penny? So
I don't think they'll do it.
I don't either. I want to see them take Sklaronski out of Northern, the offensive tackle, if he falls to 10.
I think they're gonna, just based on like what the Eagles usually do, I bet you they go maybe like a Nolan Smith from Georgia, very athletic, the end. That's very Eagles like.
It's possible,
but we'll see. I mean, they need corner, or at least slot corner.
I mean, the corner was interesting because signing is they bring back James Bradbury on a 3-year deal, which was huge. Yep. Darius Slay said, "See you, Philly. I'm out of here," and then goes just coming back for a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
Bring him back, which was huge. A lot of good off-season signings. I think Justin Evans was a stud from the Saints. Kyle Edmonds, I think, was a stud. Players. I don't know a whole lot about Greedy Williams from the Browns. He's apparently a solid corner.
He was really good his rookie year, and then was like pretty largely a disappointment for them. But he was their second corner and then their third corner. So
yeah,
he's fine. He's not. It's just interesting that whole situation with CJ Gardner-Johnson, the whole situation. He clearly thought he was coming back, and then they picked Darius Slay over him. Basically,
it goes to show loyalty. He wanted more money than they were able to give him, or willing to give him, especially because they still haven't Hurts a contract yet, which he deserves. He's the most important one. But yeah, it's just like
a year.
It's funny how like he gets us to the Super Bowl. He had the best year of his career, and then just like that, he's like tucking all this negative Philly, and he's with where did he end up going again?
Detroit.
He's at Detroit, which I think is a pretty good signing for him. But
good signing for Detroit too. That was their biggest flaw, was their secondary.
I'm pretty sure. I'm just taking the schedule quick. No, we don't play the Lions this year.
What about Javon Hargrave going to the 49ers?
Yeah, that was lost. The Niners are definitely stacked now.
Holy shit, their D-line's insane.
Yeah. That was a tough loss. Re-signing Fletcher Cox and like our core of like Jason Kelsey and Graham for 1 year. bringing the gang back for another year will be interesting. So not a great offseason, but not an offseason by any means for the Eagles.
We'll see what happens with the draft. Yeah, we'll see, but not bad.
Yeah, two first.
I'm glad that they lost so many players.
Yeah. Commanders signed Jacoby Brissett. I'm guessing
they're such a shit show.
I'm guessing he's their starting quarterback unless they name Sam Howell their starter. But he's
Sam
just
Howell buns.
Yeah,
he's a fifth-round pick. No way.
Signed Nick Gates to a 3-year deal.
All right.
They put the franchise tag to Ron Payne, which is just pretty much
Didn't he? I thought he signed a huge extension.
Deron Payne.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, they put the franchise tag, and they later signed him to a 4-year $90 deal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then we get to the Bears. If you want to break down.
So the Bears' biggest trade. I mean, I'm sure you have it in front of you. I do not. But trading the first overall pick. We actually talked about it in the episode a month ago of what the Bears would do. And we both said we would build around Justin Fields. Ryan Poles has done a very good job doing so. Mm-hmm. He signed multiple O-linemen, which they really desperately needed help on, the O-line, so that was good. They signed both TJ Edwards from the Eagles. They signed Tremaine Edmonds from the Bills, which kind of interesting. They decided to allocate that much money to 2 middle linebackers. But obviously they had something in mind for him.
Yeah.
And then that trade was so good.
Yeah.
Trading the first pick to the Panthers to move back to 9th. They get another first. Tell me if I'm wrong with this because this is just going off memory. They get the number 9 pick. They get a second-round pick this year, a 2024 first-rounder, a 2024 second-rounder, and DJ Moore.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head.
So they get Justin Fields, the best receiver he's ever played with in professional football, because he obviously played with very good receivers in college. DJ Moore is such a good player. So we'll see if this is kind of like, if you remember, I talked about a month ago how they should be taking the Jalen Hurts approach for Justin Fields. They're very similar players in how they played. The year before Jalen broke out, he got an established number one. He arguably had a number 1 receiver before, but he had another receiver, more help. And it took another offseason, and then he became what he is. Justin Fields getting DJ Moore is huge. I don't think it's as big as AJ Brown is obviously a much better player, but DJ Moore is a very number 1 receiver.
Yeah,
and they remade the whole room. They have depth now. They have him, Darnell Mooney, Claypool, which was not worth a second-round pick, but they traded a second-round pick for him. They have Cole Kmet behind him. They have Robert Tonyan. They really rebuilt the whole room. And I'm really excited to see what they do with this 9th overall pick. If I'm him, I just trade back again. Or I'd take Jalen Carter, who Howie's obviously paying him money to ruin his life. So he'll get selected 10th.
I don't know if he would fall that deep, but
I think he will. I think he will with all these field things. So many red flags.
Yeah,
that's why he's perfect for Philly.
All right, well, we got another dozen teams to through, so let's just go through these quickly.
Okay.
To finish off the Bears, they lose Montgomery and they bring in Deontay. Yes, a great replacement. They bring in Robert Tonyan, 1-year deal. They got TJ Edwards from this. Onto the line said they got David Montgomery, which is huge for them. It'll be interesting to see how that pair goes with Montgomery and DeAndre Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Williams goes to the Saints, so he's not there anymore.
I love Jamal Williams.
Evan Mosley, they sign Jones. He comes back home for a deal. They get CJ Gardner, as we discussed. Michael Badgley's their new. Really, the Packers literally nothing. They just lost everybody. Um,
They're so poorly run.
Yeah, they're a disaster. Vikings signed Nick Mullins to back up Cousins. Well, they re-signed him. Re-signed Alexander Madison.
Another running back who got screwed on the open market.
Yeah, they signed Aaron Murphy. That's their only acquisition. The Falcon and Taylor Heineke.
Huge. He will probably be their starter.
Assuming he'll beat out Desmond Ritter. Yeah. They signed Matt Collins. They signed Miller. They signed Janu. A lot of signings, but they got Jesse Bates, biggest one.
Huge. And they just signed Calais Campbell. Yeah.
1 year deal. Panthers get bit Anthony Dalton. Sanders. Andy Dalton.
Is his name Anthony?
Sounds like it is. Let's just get it.
Wouldn't it be Andrew?
Fuck. And Andy Dalton. Miles Sanders is their new running back. Interesting wide receiver signings with DJ Chark, Adam Thielen. They get Hayden Hurst. They sign Von Bell. But yeah, the Panthers are going to be atrocity.
They're going to be so bad. I feel so bad for CJ Stroud, who's almost definitely going to be picked.
Yeah, assuming they get him. Saints are probably going to be too, but it's going to be to see how they.
Derek Carr,
because Derek Carr is the new quarterback. Their running back committee depends with Kamara and Jamal Williams now, and Michael Thomas to a 1 year deal. They re-signed Juwan Johnson, tight end, to a 2 year deal.
I like that. I like Juwan Johnson.
Yeah. He's solid. But I just expect more of the Saints this year. I don't expect them to be much of.
Unless actually, there's also a report that Michael Thomas is still not healthy, which is wild.
Yeah. Stay away from him.
$10 million a year. Only 1 year, but anyway, go ahead.
The Bucks, like you said, they're just kind of far. Like they still have their stuff, the receivers and Mike Godwin, but they lose Burnett, who's still a free agent. Somebody's gonna go after him.
Mark my words, the Giants are trading for Godwin.
It could happen. They really don't have a quarterback, so they signed Baker Mayfield, which is interesting. They bring in Chase Edmonds as their new running back. They re-signed Levon David. They signed a 4 year deal with James, but that's really it for them. Onto the Cardinals, they signed Zach Pascal. Not really noteworthy. They signed a 2 year deal with White from the Eagles. Those measures their new kicker, but nothing really for the Cardinals.
They are going to be so bad. They're not going to have Kyler for half the year too.
Yeah, which is just like I didn't understand why. Mike Gannon is their new coach, or is it Steve Steichen?
John Gannon.
Jonathan Gannon. Where did Steve Steichen go again? The Colts?
Yeah, the Colts.
Yeah. So John Gannon's the
Cardinals.
My dude from Muhlenberg.
Mike Gannon's upgraded from the Muhlenberg wrestling team.
Yeah. So why Jonathan Gannon wanted to leave the Eagles to the Rams? Money position, I get it, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Rams absolutely nothing. The 49ers gets sold as another one of their 3 quarterback committee to replace Garoppolo. It's interesting.
I feel like he could actually beat them out.
Possible. I mean, depending on Trey Lance's health, but like same thing with Brock Purdy's health. Like how well Purdy played the year. He played pretty good. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, Javon Hargrave, their biggest signing of the offseason. Looking, nothing else really catches my eye. John Feliciano.
Yeah.
Seahawks.
Didn't they lose their center?
I believe so. Yeah. Who though?
Okay.
Seahawks, like you said, they re-signed Geno Smith, they re-signed Drew Lock, which is funny running back.
Yeah, gotta run it back.
Signed Bobby Wagner deal. Signed
Love that.
Julian Love.
Love Julian Love.
There you go.
My guy.
Signed Devin Bush.
The only thing that's a problem is like, isn't Jamal Adams still on that team? Like, that's really redundant. Like,
Yeah.
Jamal Adams and Julian Love are both strong safeties. Unless they want to try him at corner again. I mean, Julian Love coming out of the draft was a fourth.
You got him from the Giants, right? That's right.
Yeah, he was a fourth-round pick from out of Notre Dame. Was a cornerback, so maybe they think he can play corner again.
Yeah.